Hey, what's going on, guys? I bet this looks a bit different. Welcome to my game room slash home office slash live stream area. This isn't about live streaming or any of that. So it's Sunday afternoon, and I wanted to talk about this now that it's been a month and 9 days since I did my video regarding NVIDIA pricing. So I just want to kind of see how well that video aged. Did it age like wine, or did it age like vitamin D milk left in the trunk for a week in Phoenix, Arizona in July? No fancy editing, none of that stuff, just literally capturing off my webcam and my streaming setup so that I could get this video out, because I just want to sort of like get it out there and move along. So anyway, July 12th, I put out a video that was very controversial because I was also very misquoted, but that's fine. Because no matter what I say at this point, the haters are just going to say I'm moving goalposts, which is not what I'm doing. I'm just comparing prices now, and then giving a little bit of clarification and an apology for the idiots comment, which I'll just start off with, because I was like, why are people saying I'm calling everybody idiots? I don't even remember saying, honestly, in that video that y'all are going to be idiots by waiting and then not being able to get a graphics card. Look, I call myself an idiot in almost every single video. I forget that we're not all friends on a personal level here where we can kind of haze and razz each other like that. So it was inappropriate, and I apologize for that. And before you say it's just damage control, if I were really going to damage control, I would have done it right away, not let it sit for a month and 10 days. Because I think the core audience of my videos know that absolutely not was I trying to insult you in any way. But you can accept it, you cannot accept it. You've probably moved on and aren't even watching anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Second of all, let's talk about pricing, because I mentioned, and I watched that video again like 6 times, looking for specific quotes that were mentioned to say, did I actually say that? And trust me when I say there was a lot of out of context paraphrasing that was taking place, because I wanted to basically address some of the misquotes. But what I really want to address here is the pricing. So what I did was I wrote down every video or every graphics card that I mentioned in that video and the pricing that it was that day, which is July 12th, to compare it to today, which is Sunday, August 21st. At the time I'm filming this video, you guys will be watching it Monday morning. So I really don't think anything's going to change in the next 12 hours by the time this video goes live, or 15 hours or whatever it is. So 3090 Ti Founders Edition card was the first card I mentioned in that video, at a $1,599 price tag found at Best Buy. And I remember Best Buy is the official retailer for NVIDIA regarding Founders Edition cards being sold. Today, it's still $1,599. Now, that's a $400 drop from the MSRP of $2,000. Hasn't changed. The 3090 Fe I showed was $1,499, so only $100 less than the Ti, which would make the Ti a much better buy, but it was out of stock on July 12th. Well, it's still $1,499 today and still out of stock. So I have a feeling 3090s have probably not been getting replenished to Best Buy. I think only 3090 Ti models are being sent. And by pricing the 3090 Ti Fe so close to the 3099 Ti Fe pricing is why I suspect they're not actually replenishing that inventory. MSI 3080 Ti Gaming X Trio on July 12th was at Newegg, and by the way, we moved on to Newegg pricing here, was $1,049. Today, that card is still in stock and available for $939. So already a $110 drop on that card versus the day I made that video. So as you can see, $110, if you were speccing out an entire system, had you followed my advice that day, saying buy now, you could have probably spec'd your CPU 1 tier higher and spent the same amount of money at the end of the day. So yeah, $110 on that one. It's a fairly significant. It's about 10%. Yeah, it's about 10% of the overall price. I'm going to talk about something regarding BS marketing, though, because I noticed something as I was looking at the screenshots that we showed in that video. On July 12th, Newegg said that the 3080 Ti from MSI was $1,049 with original scratched out price of $1,240. Today, it shows the $939 with a scratched out price of $1,409. Does that mean the price went up to $1,409 in that time? No, it means it's just a BS number they put up there to make you think you're actually saving $500 or $470. So it's not accurate. It's kind of like when Micro Center was known for the longest time of putting bullshit pricing stickers on their items. That way, when it rang up for cheaper, or when you had somebody verify the price, it looks like it's $100 cheaper, and you're like, wow, that's a deal, it's on sale. It's like, no, it's just a BS sticker that was stuck up there on day one. So the retailers are doing that, and so is EVGA. EVGA's own website has changed pricing and rebates with the overall price at the end of the day basically staying the same. So it's BS marketing. I just want to point that out. Never go by the scratched off price. That is designed to fool you. Anyway, The 3080 10G OC from Gigabyte was $799 on the 12th of July. Today it is $739. So there's a $60 difference there. Not exactly enough to like really had screwed up your budget, or I guess even to be outraged if it went down $60. It's kind of the risk you take anytime you buy anything. I guess if you go and buy something, because I was like, go buy it today, then you could say Jay cost me $60, or maybe the price of a basic case, or maybe an SSD, or something like that. So yeah, it does have an impact. 3080 for the Win 3, 10 gigabyte on Newegg was $869, and it is available today for $771. So that one is a $102 drop since July 12th. So that, again, about a CPU tier, definitely an SSD, probably a power supply. I mean, a whole component could have been funded by the price drop. So let's move on to the EVGA website, because that was the other site that I referenced. And I think because I referenced so much EVGA sites is why everyone thought that that video was like somehow sponsored by EVGA. No, I didn't receive anything for that video other than a headache, to be honest, because I can promise you right now, the two conspiracy theories are that NVIDIA paid for that video or that EVGA paid for that video. I can tell you nobody paid for that video other than my own like sanity, because NVIDIA does not like me. I guarantee, no matter how much you think you may not like me, NVIDIA hates me more. And then EVGA would absolutely like never sponsor a video like this. I mean, I know it's just my word, but that's so not even the way that it works. And in fact, at the end of the day, EVGA is a very small sponsor of ours. So I didn't know how to respond to that. I guess I just have to let people think what they're going to think, because no matter what I say, they wouldn't believe me anyway. Even though I have to abide by FTC laws and all that sort of stuff, people just think I'm willing to just go break laws, but that's neither here nor there. The EVGA website, one thing I noticed, which was interesting, was I mentioned in the July 12th video that there was a limit 1 per customer for the longest time because of the scalping and the availability and all that. On July 12th, it was limit 2 per customer, or it actually says 2 per household, I believe. But anyway, today it shows 5. So what does that indicate? It indicates people still aren't really buying, which is what's leading to prices to continue to like increment downward, except for on their own website. So for instance, 3080 12 gigabyte XC3 hybrid, which is the AIO water-cooled card, $799 on the 12th of July, $799 still today. 3080 12 gigabyte Hydro, which is the Hydro Copper, which is the open loop custom copper installed water block, $799 on the 12th of July, still $799 today. Both these cards do show in stock, by the way. The 1650 XC was showing out of stock, and I just looked at a low end card because I wanted to see if it was affecting everything all the way down. Was out of stock on July 12th at $169. It's still out of stock today at $169. 3080 Ti XC3. This is the interesting one. On July 12th, it was out of stock. Remember, it's a 3080 Ti XC3. So the XC3 is kind of like their starting tier of their XC3, XC3 for the Win 3, for the Win 3 Ultra, Hydro Copper, and all that. So it just goes up. $1,099 for a 3080 Ti XC3, which even like anywhere during the whole pandemic shortage would have been an amazing price because it launched at over $1,200. It shows, and it was out of stock on the 12th of July, but it shows $899 today. That's a $200 drop. That's massive. That's way more than I would have ever expected, but it still shows out of stock today. Now I'm not sure if it ever went in stock during that time, or if it's just another one of those weird artificial price drops. So what I need right now is somebody who, between that video, July 12th, and today, August 21st, did you actually buy direct from EVGA a 3080 Ti XC3 for $899? Like, or even $1099? Did it ever come back in stock and I just missed it? Because I'm curious if that's a real price drop. Because why did all the other cards stay the same, but that one dropped $200? Anyway, this is the one that surprised me the most. So 3070 Ti for the Win 3 was in stock on the July 12th for $759. Today it shows $649. Actually, I take that back. It came down $110, but there's no buy button on their page right now. It's really odd. Like, you go and look at it, there's a buy it now for a more expensive card at $679, which is a slightly different model. It's basically a different clock speed for the Win 3 for the 3070 Ti. But the $649 variant doesn't have a buy button. There's no out of stock notification, but there's no button to buy it either. So I'm not sure what's happening. That's just a broken website or what. But as you can see right there, you could have saved. And remember, the cards pricing are all over the place. All I can do is cross-reference and check what I actually called out in that video. It's not like I should have screenshotted all the cards, honestly. That way I could have really compared. But you could have saved about $60, all the way up to $110 or $200 if that EVGA pricing is real, which is it's significant. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think my long-term followers, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. In 5 days will be my 10-year anniversary of doing this. And I think by now people know I'm not here to try and mislead people. People have accused me of lying, saying that I took NVIDIA money to lie to you about prices not dropping. And the thing I think I take away most from the video, having watched it a half dozen times, is listening very carefully. I said 3 different times in that video, one in the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end, even though I did say today is the day that you should buy, I said that prices could still continue to drop. I said that on 3 different occasions. But what I didn't find was me saying prices will not continue to drop. What I can find me also saying is that prices where they are could lead to an inventory shortage, which could mean if you're waiting to buy the card, you might be out of luck buying one. That 40 series could launch, 30 series is gone, 40 series is either 1, overpriced, or 2, out of stock on day 1, which we saw with 10 series and 20 series, actually just about every series. But even the overpriced 2080 Ti at $1,200 was out of stock the moment it launched. And that's a card everyone hated because it was the biggest price jump we had ever seen in NVIDIA. So my logic was, if the 20 series could jump to $1,200, and the 40 series is already rumored to be just as overpriced as 20 series was compared to 30 series, I mean, and there's nothing left to buy, you would be out of luck. And that's what I was trying to help people avoid. But I think based on the amount of people, the way that people were screaming and yelling at me, I had fully expected to see cards came down $200-$300 or more. You know, it's like, I don't know. I guess I could see someone being really upset about a $100 price drop. I mean, that's an SSD, that's a power supply, that's a case, that's a component of your system. So yeah, if you feel misled by that video, then that was certainly not my intent. And I would absolutely apologize for that, because that was never my intention with that video. Like I already said regarding the idiot thing, I guess I just watched The Office too much. Even Dwight was like, idiot to everybody, even people he liked, but whatever. I have to remember that we are not personal friends. You do not know me on the level I know me, and so do my friends. And so I cannot joke around with people like that and tease, expecting you guys to understand the place I come from. So that's my bad. And that's my mistake on there. And that's not damage control. If that were damage control, I would have done it 2 days later to head off people getting all mad at me about it, not let it sit for a month and a week so that I could take, you know, a ton of crap talking in that amount of time from people that have absolutely like no context of where I was coming from on that, which is fine. I deserve that. The other thing too is talk about the 40 series launch rumors, because there's been new movement on that, because remember, still rumors, and rumors are to be taken with a grain of salt. That's why they're rumors. I said in my subsequent video that 40 series that I was basically given a tip that 40 series could be delayed up to a year. Now, I hate that whole up to. I did say up to. I listened to that again, and that's just fine print. But at the time I made that video, people were talking about July being the announcement with an August availability on the first cards to launch on 40 series. It's August 21st. Clearly that didn't happen. And I even called that out in the video. I said July is not going to happen. Then the rumor moved to September, saying September announcement with an October launch, which I, to this day, still hope happens. However, if you just do a search now for NVIDIA 40 series delayed, you will find from the same credible sources that people have been listening to all along regarding pricing and specs and all that stuff, now saying 2023. What they're saying a little more specifically is a December announcement with a January availability of 4090 and potentially 4090 only, which again, if you're a company like NVIDIA and you've just stockpiled the crap out of cards because you timed things improperly because you couldn't predict the crash of cryptocurrency, leading to a surplus of 40 series cards being produced while there's still like massive surplus of 30 series sitting on shelves, you would probably want to limit people's day one buying to the most expensive SKU, right? We've always seen 80 and 90, or 80, 70 and 80, like on 20 series, or 80 and 90, or was it 80, 70, 80 and TI, I think was initial RTX launch. But anyway, I digress. We had 80 and 90 came out on 30 series, and then 70 came out later. I guess you would want to limit your day one sales to be the most expensive stuff, because if the pandemic and the chip shortage taught us anything, is that people will be willing to overspend if they're desperate enough. And people buying 3080s for $2,500, $3,000 from scalpers, and you can't keep them in stock. We just told the big bad corporations, who we all know really only care about their bottom line and their investors and not the consumer. We've told them we're willing to spend that. So why wouldn't they increase the price of 40 series? Which again was my logic on buying 30 series now, because if 40 series is inflated as far as it, I'm hoping isn't going to be, but I've already talked about pricing that's leaked. People still bought 10 series when 20 series came out, because the price increase on 20 series made 10 series, even at MSRP being a 2-year-old card, look worth it. And I think that that very same thing could happen here, where you have a 40 series 4090 launch at $2,000, which remember used to be the 3090 Ti. If you can now buy a 3090 Ti for, $1,200, because you can buy them that cheap now, then that still looks like a great deal, right? So again, it's as risky as playing the stock market, hedging bets on whether or not the price is going to continue to go down or it's going to run out of inventory before the price bottoms out. That's the risk you take waiting, and that's all I was trying to say in those videos. But I did a very poor job of explaining that. But now the latest rumors are saying that the main series lineup of 40 series may not be fully exposed until Q1, Q2 of 2023, which is what I was saying, and that people called me like an absolute lunatic for even thinking. But it's one of those things where I don't want that to be the case. I'm not going to even say, even if I turn out to be right on that, I'm not going to say, I told you so, because I don't want that to be the reality. But anyway, it is what it is. So that's it. That's where I'm leaving this now. I'm not going to keep revisiting this. You would think by some of the comments, though, that cards were practically free today based on how angry they are. I think people are spending way too much energy being angry. $100 is a big deal. $60 seems to be a little bit more of the average based on July 12th, with every now and then some major cards. Like even EVGA for one evening dropped the price of 3090 Ti, 3090 and 3080 Ti $200. But then the very next day they went back up to the price. So I think it's like they were kind of like dialing in the price to see how fast can we get some of these to move, and then putting it back, and then probably will do it again. So that's why you really got to be signed up for those notifications, or just be constantly like searching Newegg, Amazon, Microsoft, you have to go in person, so you have to live near one, or any direct sales website from any of the AIB manufacturers. But there you go. That's the last time I'm going to talk about it. This is where you hedge your bet. Do you wait longer still, hoping prices come down another $100, which at this point now I've got to say does not seem completely unfeasible, or are you happy with the performance you would get at the price you spend now? The other thing is people say spending MSRP or even near MSRP, which by the way, all these cards are far under MSRP now. So let's take MSRP even out of the equation or the discussion. The current pricing now, are you happy with the performance that you would get for that, even though the card technology won't be 2 years old until September? So next month. Okay, 2 years old. Are you willing to spend the current pricing for a 2-year-old, or are you willing to spend more for the latest gen? And that's where you have to decide. And then the risk you take is, do you wait longer, hoping it comes down a little bit, or do they go out of stock before they come down and then they never go back in stock? Because who knows how many are in the pipeline still being shipped to manufacturers or AIBs and retailers? Or do you wait and maybe miss out? That was the original message I was trying to send. I guess I could have worded that a whole lot better. So I'm going to move on from this. My core audience, I know, will follow me along. We've got a lot of content coming up that we're really excited about doing. And obviously the new space is really energized and revigorated our love for making content. And that's all you're going to find from this moment forward. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out on a Sunday. Shut up, Windows. I don't care about Adobe Creative Cloud having an update. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.